Hey,
What? What happened?
I don't think we're alone.
Oozes are among the most abundant enemies that Jill Valentine and Parker Luciani will encounter during the events of the game Resident Evil Revelations. The result of a human who has been exposed to the effects of the T-Abyss virus, oozes come in all different shapes and sizes, with the reasons for their slight evolutionary differences remaining a mystery to this day. However, while they may each have their own strengths and weaknesses, they all share the same thirst for human blood.
Which is the room I was stuck in. By the way, what's the deal with that guy in the gas mask?
The story of the Oozes as we know it begins with the discovery of a deep-sea fish in their chromatic trench by Montpellier University of Marine Science. In the early 2000s, during an unmanned submersible expedition of the trench, researchers would happen across a fish with unusual characteristics for such an underwater depth. The mobility and ferocity of this creature would intrigue the team, and as such, they would bring a sample of the species back to the lab, discovering that these striking characteristics were not the result of the fish's biology, but rather a viral infection. Fascinated by their findings, the scientists would work on better understanding this untamed virus. Linking up with the Federal Bioterrorism Commission, headed by Morgan Lansdale, the two would begin expanding the capabilities of the virus under the guise of being proactive in fighting potential bioterror attacks. This research would come to a head after the virus was used in a bioterror attack on a state-of-the-art city known as Terra Grigia in 2004. However, while this attack would put T-Abyss on the map, it would be on the ships of the people who propagated this barbarism where the virus would truly be allowed to fester. A bioterror organization known as Veltro had become public enemy number one after their attack on the floating city. Despite extensive manhunts though, they would manage to remain hidden away on 3 luxury cruise liners as they planned their next attack. On one of those ships, the Queen Zenobia, research would begin on a vaccine to the virus, and once success on that front had been achieved, betrayal would rear its ugly head. Lansdale, who'd been working with Veltro behind the scenes, would lock down the ships and release the BOW test subjects within, kicking off an age of ooze for those who remained on board. Infection would begin to spread like wildfire throughout the vessel, ooze test subjects attacking everyone in their path as they followed the whims of the virus. Those infected would swiftly begin to change. Their body would seemingly begin to shed fluid at an alarming pace, causing them to devolve into sauntering, bloated corpses. This change would make them extremely malleable to move through small crevices and gaps, but also force them into a never-ending thirst as they tried to replenish the bodily fluids they'd lost. To aid in this endeavor, the infected would develop a new leech-like tongue that could be used to siphon blood from their victims. Hundreds of small teeth would slice through the prey's skin as they digested the blood that they now so desperately needed. Oozes are some of the most diverse creatures that Jill and Parker will have to contend with as they explore the abandoned halls of the Queen Zenobia. Drowned bodies that have long since lost any grip on the characteristics that once made them human, and now only thirst for blood to sustain their hopeless existence. And while on their own they may not pose much of a threat, when a school comes along, you'll be lucky to get out of the frenzy alive.